The past month of watching PSG has been so tough to watch. This offense seems to be super clunky, and we're getting goals because of our high press, but not because of, pure creation. It's a tough loss, but it's also the way we always lose, right? If you look back at the history of PSG, especially since Enrique's, came, right? His first game, we had a goalless draw, but that was because we couldn't capitalize on our chances. And then at the end of the season, we lose to Dortmund because we can't capitalize on chances. And then the next year, Liverpool in Paris. Allison had a great game for sure, but we couldn't capitalize on our chances. And it's just the story of how we lose or drop points every time. And again, tonight, we couldn't capitalize on our chances. Barclay coming in off the left. 1v1 with the keeper. You're coming in off the left, 1v1 with the keeper. This is every left winger's dream. Sends it wide near post? What are we doing? I don't know, man. Look, hats off to PFC. I can't, be too upset because, again, we're creating chances. But like I said, the offense has been clunky. But even with all of that, we should have won this game. I mean, let me bring up the FOD mob real quick because I'll show you how many big chances we had. Looky, looky. Six. Six big chances to one. Six big chances missed to zero. We had tripled almost their passes. Obviously, the XG's in our favor highly. But you look at the shot map here. What are we? We need to be doing better. And this isn't a consistent, trend, but it's consistent in the way that whenever we lose, it's because of this. Look, hats off to PFC. They sat in their block. They soaked up the pressure. Their goalkeeper, by the way, was insane. 7 saves. Look at these goals that he prevented. But at the end of the day, you're the best team in the world. You need to be winning games like this. And I think it's representative of a few issues. It's not just Barclay's inconsistency when finishing. It's not just the lack of goal threat from the right wing when we force one of the left wingers to play there. This team is just starting to get tired. Let's just call it what it is. People are gonna be like, "How? How are you tired? We just came off a break." But at the same time, if you look at the last month or so, let's see. Let's start from the Intercontinental Cup in Qatar versus Flamengo, and then you travel back to France to play a cup game, and then you go on break, and the break's maybe a week and a half. It's not a long break, but it's a break. Okay, sure. And then after break, you come back, play another league game, and then you have to travel halfway across the world to Kuwait, and then come back and play another league game. And I think that's taking a toll. But also, you can point to the Club World Cup, and people would be like, "No, the Club World Cup was all the way in July." But fatigue isn't always immediate. It can compound over time, and you could take the travel heavy last month, and then you compound that with the fatigue of the Club World Cup and not having a full off season, so your body never fully shut off for a long time, and you're still playing football and accumulating all of this fatigue across the season. At one point, you start to get burnt out. You'll get this burnt out feeling. You'll get tired. Just simple as that. And I think that's what's kind of happening when I look at this team. Now, beyond all that, I also think this offense has become really clunky recently. Um, and that could maybe be because of the fatigue, but I don't think we're scoring goals because of creation. I think we're scoring goals because of our press. Like we're winning the ball back high and then thus making an easy pass to get a goal, which is great. But we also need to be able to create goals from having the ball, from having possession, from finishing chances. And we're not doing enough of that. And it's been tough to watch the last however many months at this, or however many games at this point. I don't know if you're Luis Enrique. I don't know what you do. Me personally, I think bringing in somebody to keep morale up, to keep guys, on their toes. But also, you can rotate this person and take some minutes off of guys. If you bring in like a pacey left winger or another left-footed eight who can, take minutes off of Fabian and take minutes off of Joao Neves, who didn't play today, but you know, take minutes off of people and keep them fresher. I think that's a positive. Take minutes off of Vitinha. You know, get these guys fresher and having clearer, more fresher heads to make better decisions when we're in the box and in the final third. I think this will just be an overall benefit to the team. I get it. It's tough to add to this team because the quality is so high. But at the same time, look at what we're watching. I mean, that game against Marseille was rough. We should have never been in a dogfight. But I think the fatigue is starting to accumulate here. This is Omer we're talking about. This is Paris FC we're talking about. Like, we need to be dominating these games. And last year I think we would have been, but last year we were fresher. At the end of the day, look, hats off to Paris FC, but I think there's some tweak to be made here, some adjustment to be made. Whether that's bringing in another guy, whether that's, I don't know, repositioning some people or playing different, with a different configuration. I just feel like there's there's something not working here, and I think everyone would agree with me if you watched this team, in the past, 6, 7, 8 games. It's been tough to watch. Next up, we have Lille on Friday, and honestly, the schedule gets it's starting to pick up. Like it's starting to pick up. We get some Champions League coming up and whatnot, and this it gets important. Lille always a tough game. Sporting, French teams do not win in Portugal. By the way, the last time a French team won in Portugal was I think Marseille actually in 3 years ago. But before that, it's been over 20 years. So for once in one time in 25 years or so has a French team won on Portuguese soil. So that's going to be a really tough game. Obviously, Auxerre, you expect to win that. Newcastle, gonna be a tough game, but luckily it'll be in Paris. Hopefully, we can avenge ourselves from that 1-1 all the way back in 2023. And we got to go to Strasbourg and then another Le Classique. Man, the schedule picks up, and then after that, it gets a little a little better. But then there'll be some Champions League round of 16 games in here, assuming we finish top eight, of course, which I think we will. I don't know if you're Luis Enrique. What do you do? How do you get this team running again? And I think honestly, this might be good for us. This might be good for us because no more cup games, so we kind of get a little bit of rest. We can kind of not have to deal with those cup games. Not to discount the cup, it's important. We always want to get a treble. We always want to fight for the sextuples every year. But look, if you're gonna pick a trophy to sacrifice, of the remaining trophies available, you would probably pick the French Cup. So I can't be too upset. I just really want this team to start clicking again and giving me joy when I watch them. So that's how I'm feeling. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys up on the next video. And if you haven't seen my other videos of talking about Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid and uh, just how bad they've been, which is always fun. But yeah, until next time, Ale Pari. Make sure y'all see the badge. Adios.